Welcome, everyone. My name is Kiko, and I have contributed my very first book, nama.ovh, which is the book that I have been wanting to finish for the 20 years. And today I am interviewing beautiful Alanna, and we were just chatting, and I'm just overwhelmed and like mind blown with what this woman has done. And we just realized we have been a neighbor in Paris. Alanna has contributed this beautiful ebook. Um, it's called Light, Nourishing, and Easy 21 Recipe for Weight Management and High Energy. Doesn't look like she needs any weight management, but let's hear more about it. I like her recipe. I went through her presentation is so beautiful, very simple, looks very delicious, and I can't wait to try her recipe because this is a kind of recipe I really like. Very simple, but it seems very delicious and well presented. And one of her photos that I was quite impressed um, with her three beautiful kids in the back. And she's half American, half French. Got three kids. She just moved to a new place. A lot going on, and she's got this ultimate raw vegan contribution and going live. So yes, please welcome first of all, Alanna. I'm just
Thank,
very impressed. So please go on and introduce yourself.
thank you so much, Kiko. It was really nice to get to meet you, and I apologize for all the technical issues. But we are here, and we're able to have this conversation. And it's nice meeting you through this Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. I feel like that's always the nicest part of these bundles is like making these connections with other like-minded people. And I haven't read your entire book, but I'm looking forward to like reading the whole thing, Namado, because yeah, it's really, it speaks to me the way you wrote the book. For those of you listening, if you are interested in checking out her book and my book, you should check out the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle because it's like an insane offer. But yeah, it really spoke to me because I did jujitsu for a long time. So like even the beginning, like Namado, the way of like the path to raw, um, just yeah, it just resonates because at a young age I started, with martial arts and it just has that kind of a mindset. So I was drawn to your way of thinking and presenting.
Mhm. Thank you.
And
Thank you so much. I mean, again, I just finished interviewing Wendy in Holland, and she's got two kids, and she is taking care of two of her kids all herself. And I was just mind blown with her energy. And now you've got three kids and just moved to a new place and still contributing to this raw vegan bundle. So was this your first ebook?
no, I think it's my fourth ebook. Yeah, I think it's my fourth ebook. Yeah. And so I've just kind of I feel like I could have, to be honest, I could have like added more recipes to this ebook, but I like the idea of keeping it really simple because I have to admit sometimes I find with recipe books when there are too many recipes, you just kind of get lost and you're like, oh, what do I start with? So I was like, I'll just do like something, short and sweet. My last ebook that I did was weight management and healthy families with ABC's A Coloring Book. And so that ebook was basically just different, for each letter of the alphabet, I made a coloring page with different fruits and vegetables and different, raw vegan foods. And then I get into like describing simple recipe ideas rather than like very strict recipes with like quantities. So just like ideas of things to try. And this ebook that my most recent ebook in the bundle is more of a traditional recipe ebook. where you have 7 drinks, 7 savory, like more savory recipes, and then 7 fruity recipes. And since I specialize in weight management, I added the idea of like, contacting me and setting up a strategy session, because I truly believe that it's great to have lots of recipes and lots of good intentions. But if you don't really have a game plan, it can make things complicated. So I really wanted to stress that in this ebook. Like, I feel like being able to have more clarity on like the bigger picture, taking a step back and like really kind of shifting your mindset a little bit can also help in the process of managing weight. As you had mentioned, it didn't look like I needed to help with weight management, but after I had 3 kids in 2 years, so I had my first son and then I had twins, and I had weight to release, and I was also experiencing weird health issues. And so that's why I turned to raw foods. And after adopting a like almost fully raw lifestyle for about 7 months, like all of like the issues went away and I dropped the weight and I had so much energy, and it was just kind of like a godsend. It was like this shifted my life totally. And then I did start reincorporating some cooked foods, and I'm like I said, I'm not totally raw, and I've even experimented with trying new things. But what I can say for sure is what I always come back to is raw foods. It's always like it's what makes me feel my best.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I had this weight to release, and I also had an obese mother my entire life who, yeah, she passed away when I was pregnant with my first son, Matisse,
Oh,
from cancer. So
I'm so
I think that that kind it's okay. I think that that just kind of crystallized wanting to help other women who struggled with weight, because I believe that her illness was from the stress and strain on her body of years of like not, having this excess weight and trying all these diets. And psychologically, it was just really hard on her. And even on myself, like even though I wasn't overweight as a child per se, I had a very, very distorted image of my body. So above and beyond weight management, it was also, the mental side behind all of it, the societal pressures. So today I specialize, why all of my ebooks kind of focus on weight management is I specialize in helping women who, I'd say, they like have a damaged image of their bodies, have a difficult relationship with food, would like to better manage their weight, but are like kind of broken and they don't really know where to start.
Mm.
And I'm finishing up a certification on like a general coaching certification that gets more into the psychological side of things and like reprogramming,
Mm.
breaking limiting beliefs and compounding positive behavior to try to help people get out of, the looping,
Mm.
that people tend to get in. So
Raw.
sorry, that was a long-winded introduction.
No, that was amazing, Alana. So so coaching is your main work, is it? Or you work?
Coaching and massage. I'm a naturopath, and so a lot of naturopaths. I'm not a naturopathic doctor. I'm a naturopathic consultant in France, so it's not the same level of studies. But I've also completed raw vegan coaching with Karen Ramsey, and like I said, I'm doing this other coaching program um, with he's a more generalized coach. He's not even vegan or raw vegan or anything like that. His program is really focusing on how to structure sessions and how to push clients towards not push them, how to gently lead clients toward their goals. And if they need to be, shaken up a little bit, which, everyone may need at some point in their lives, it's kind of, I'm trying to like meld different techniques. I also work with like, herbal protocols, but I'd have to say, I really focus on the food and the mindset first, because I really do believe that that's like the major shift, is going to happen there. Or even like it could be, quality of sleep.
Mhm.
that's something we need to work on. So
Wow.
holding people accountable.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. And again, there's so many people when I share or what I don't preach raw vegan because I know it's just gonna backfire. But when people see me eat, they always comment, "Oh my God!" And also, I have a raw vegan cafe. So
Oh, wow,
yeah,
nice.
a weekly raw vegan cafe in Kyoto downtown.
Amazing.
And there were people, so many people were inspired, and there were a few people who started doing it, and there's one girl who started for 2 weeks, raw vegan, and she said, "Wow, I felt so amazing eating raw vegan, and thanks to you, I was so inspired." And she stopped doing it because she said it was it was too much for her. I'm thinking, look at look at Alanna. I mean, she's got a coaching business going on. She's got 3 kids. She just moved. She just finished her. I mean, she's got 4 ebooks, and I'm thinking like, there's no excuse not to feel amazing, isn't it?
It's, I guess, like we're everyone's kind of at a different phase, and like I said, I'm not totally raw. I like I allow myself to do what I want to do, but I do find that regardless the type of like diet, and I know that like veganism is a lifestyle, it's not a diet. A lot of vegans would say it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Um, I do think that like it's a very fine line between where labeling what you do or becomes um, so much pressure, psychological pressure. And I feel like sometimes people, it's progress, not perfection. Like progress towards your goals rather than trying to be perfect
Mm-hmm.
to please someone else. And I feel like there's a lot of that happens regardless of, yeah, what you're trying to achieve, either like veganism or I don't know, like I'm sure that carnivores probably feel the same way, like starting out like, oh, I'm not doing, regardless of what it is, I feel like there can be a lot of pressure, and that's not necessarily helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if people try to be a little bit more progressive, and rather than thinking about what they should do, try to be more in tune with how they're feeling, I think it would help people to not, you know, go from like, oh, I'm going to go gung ho to like, I'm jumping off the bandwagon.
Yeah, I
So that's
totally
my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah, that's so well said, Alana. It's true. I mean, especially in the beginning of my journey. I mean, I there's so many times that I failed, and I kept feeling so bad, and then just blame myself, and again, listening to your body, and not being a dogmatic, right? So when I commented on my friends, I respect everyone's journey. I think I used to be very judgmental, especially in the beginning of my journey, because I felt so amazing with this raw vegan, being fully raw, that I said, you know, I mean, how could they eat pizza? That's just so disgusting. I mean, and that judgment comes back to me, and I was so harsh on myself at the same time.
Mm.
And now, I mean, I don't say I will be 100% raw vegan, because um steamed vegetable or some steamed mushrooms, I feel pretty good. And what I pay attention to how I feel. For me,
Yeah,
at the moment, I just feel good being fully raw vegan. But
that's great.
right, and at
It
some
could
point,
change.
yeah, I mean, at some point, I might feel great in just steamed veggie. I don't know. I don't have, yeah, just like you were saying, not categorize yourself, and just walk your way up. Maybe cold turkey. I've seen, I don't know, do you have any raw vegan friends nearby?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, France is veganism in and of itself is kind of a. A whole subject on its own. I mean, a lot of people are like, I turned vegetarian when I was 12,
Mm.
and when I moved to France when I was 20, 19 or 20, even being vegetarian was like, oh my God, what do you eat? Like, what do you eat? And I'm like, this is pretty easy, guys. And I'd have to say, France has come a long way, especially Paris. Like, I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yeah.
But when you leave Paris and you go to other cities, it's kind of like going back 10 years in Paris. You know what I mean? Like it's starting to like people are starting to understand a little bit more about veganism, but it's still very foreign. Raw veganism, they probably would be calling like health and human services or something and probably being like, what is this woman? I have to be very careful about what I say because like I do have kids who don't necessarily eat like me either, but people are the pediatrician I took my kids to was like, how do they get enough protein? And are you sure they're getting enough iron? And people are just not used to veganism in Bordeaux, and let alone raw veganism, I think would just freak them out.
Right.
Although when I explain it to people around me, they're interested.
Mm.
But I think that once again, it's so foreign. It's very, very foreign
Yeah.
to the
Alana
people that
and
I know.
Yeah, Alana and I probably were sort of neighbor when she was living in Paris. But too bad we didn't get connected. Um, but yeah, I had another question on um your you had okay, so you took I mean you got you learned you studied so much in many fields, and one of the course you have taken was from Dr. Rick and Kar- Karen, is it Dr.
No, Karen Ramsey. She's
Okay, the Karen.
yeah, Karen Ramsey. Yeah, I studied with Karen Ramsey.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic. So
yeah.
how long ago was that?
That was, I think it was right before we left Paris. So it's been about, yeah, like four years now.
Oh,
Time flies.
oh wow. Yeah,
So
so
I haven't been high raw vegan for that long. I mean, it's been, like I said, I had that raw phase at the beginning, and then I started reincorporating like other foods.
mm.
So it's been about 4 years. Yep.
So you discover you started raw vegan journey when?
It was, it's terrible. I should like remember the dates. I think I had just gone back to the US. I think it was when my twins were about one. So that was about 4.5 years ago. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
four and a
Yeah,
half
yeah.
years ago.
So when you took a Karen's course,
Mhm.
and she specialized in parenting also, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How does
And even before the raw vegan working with Karen, I've always been interested in nutrition though. And as a vegetarian, now I know that like obviously dairy was not the solution, but when I was 12, it was 1991 in the US. Very, very like parents were very cautious about, having kids go vegetarian. My mother was like, just to explain the context, she was paranoid. She's like, oh, you're not going to get enough protein and calcium. So she really pushed me towards the dairy. And so as a result, I've always been interested in researching, dietary stuff and food and things like that, or recipes, like experimenting with alternatives. And then when I became vegan, I think it was like 11 years ago now. I should write these dates down. 11 years ago, that was a pretty easy transition for me.
mm,
And then when I felt after the pregnancies and having like having these health issues and the weight to lose, I knew that I wasn't doing the vegan diet in a healthy way.
mm,
And that's when I figured like I've heard that raw food can be so healing, but it's like Kiko. I have this crazy story. When I was pregnant, after my pregnancy with my first son, all I wanted to eat were clementines. Like I'd buy like bags of clementines and I'd eat like 20 or 25 clementines. And my son was very colicky. And I had this doula that was helping me, and she was like, "Oh, like you need to stop eating the clementines. They're acidic, and they're making your baby like upset, your baby's stomach upset." And so when I think back to the story, I'm thinking, what a shame. Like she, her intentions were good,
Right.
but she scared me into thinking that I couldn't be eating clementines. Basically, I wanted to eat mono meals of clementines. That's all I wanted.
Mhm.
And she's like, you can't do that. You're not getting, the right nutrition and you're making your baby colicky. So there were these incorrect ideas in the back of my mind that were pushing me to like eat other foods, which makes no sense. I mean, why would something processed be better for me than clementines? So when I think back to this story, it was also I had another doula that was helping me, and she was like, "Oh, you being vegan pregnant is like really risky. Like you should be, eating this and that." And so when I think back to those stories, like it really is important to me to like help people understand that, there are different ways of doing things. I'm not saying being omnivorous and pregnant is unhealthy. I'm just saying like there are different ways of doing things. And if you want to do this, if you want to choose this path, you could choose it. So
Hi. Wow. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, it's so important to be able to connect with the right person when you are going through, right? But it's again, I do believe it's all the journey that, we are meant to have. I accept
mhm.
what it is. Um, yeah, so you had this certificate, or you went through this course with Karen Ramsey. By the way, Karen Ramsey's she has contributed one book to this Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, and I really like
Yeah.
her recipe. I tried one dressing from her book,
Oh, nice.
yeah, co-authored by Feather.
Feather
Yeah,
raw authentic.
right.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, authentic, and the dressing was hemp dressing. That was really good. I
Oh, nice.
that's
I have
re-
some recipes. I should try it.
that was
I'm just looking.
yeah, that was a perfect harmony. I really enjoy, herbs. I used some salt, and it was so beautiful. I highly recommend, because it's something, it's a no-brainer. It's not a complicated recipe, and dressing is something we always look for, isn't it? You can use it for anything.
Dressing dressings can help. It's an interesting subject because my kids, like I said, they're vegan, but they're not like I wouldn't say that they're like even high raw. I try to get them to eat tremendous amounts of fruits, and I get them to eat a lot of greens as well. But they eat so much that they just want to eat everything. They're huge eaters. But anyways, it's funny because the dressings, they don't really care. They take lettuce and they'll just eat, like they'll take a big piece of lettuce, fold it up and eat it, because that's what I do. Like a lot of times I'll just like I eat really simply, and like sometimes I'll just have a huge bowl of lettuce and just be like, yeah, munching on the lettuce. So they're doing that, and I'm really happy because I feel like I get used to having dressings, and I'm thinking in my head, I'd like my kids to get used to not having dressings. That way they just like naturally, want to eat the food for the natural taste. And sometimes they will have the dressings, but oftentimes they just want it like plain.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, honestly, so I lived in Paris for 4 years, and I was quite bad. I mean, quite bad, as in like I became vegan, vegan, like in around the same time as you are, but I have been mostly like plant-based for the last 25 years.
Okay, so you were raw, but you were eating more like you were eating raw fish and raw
No,
Um,
since 25 years ago, I started
okay.
this plant-based. I started to
Hmm.
eliminate pork and then red meat and chicken and all the seafood and all that. And slowly, and about, yeah, 10, 11 years ago, I became an ethical vegan. So
Okay.
I am definitely always vegan now. Again, you know, I'm not dogmatic and I pay attention to how I feel. So sometimes I feel like eating mushrooms. So if I feel like it, I think my body is asking for it. And mushrooms, there's so many varieties of mushroom here in Japan. It's amazing. Like
Oh,
when I was
good.
living in France, I had a hard time because if you go to market, they have some varieties during autumn time, but like all year round, it was just a white button mushroom. That was the pretty much the only thing that's available.
Right.
Right.
Hmm.
So I like to incorporate different kind of mushroom, which is available and quite reasonable price here in Japan. But it says that it's not recommended to eat raw. So yeah, if I feel like it, I don't mind eating. It's just that recently more and more my body is rejecting cooked food. So
Okay.
that's where I am. But I'm just saying that the raw food I was thinking, yeah, in France, when I moved to France, I was living on 11th arrondissement, which is like a
Okay.
vegan mecca. There was a Aujourd'hui du Monde. I don't know if you know Veggie Patisserie. Like it was like one of the top vegan restaurant. Was
Uh-huh.
just a few minutes walk from my apartment. So I definitely indulged a little too much, and then baguette,
It's
oh my
okay.
God, the baguette, it was uh, actually due to that crazy time of eating too much gluten in France. I am highly allergic to gluten. I cannot
Oh,
touch,
wow.
yeah, I cannot touch any gluten. Maybe it's a good thing. I ate too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
Oh,
France,
when you moved to France 4 years ago, you reincorporated breads and things like that, and you're like, ah, like this, your
yeah,
body didn't like it.
yeah, I was pretty clean, high raw vegan, but then,
Uh-huh.
when I married to my husband and we moved to France, little by
Uh-huh.
little we started to eat out, and it's a whole different scene,
Yeah.
like getting to know his family and his friends. It's always eating out.
Hmm.
But what I really enjoyed in France was that there's seasonal fruits, like abundance of seasonal fruits. Sometimes you get seasonal fruits from neighbors. Like my husband is from not countryside, like suburbs of Paris, and there,
Okay.
yeah, get like lots of cherries, and figs from his neighbor.
Uh,
Oh my
you can get amazing produce in France. Like it's honestly, I go back to Maine every summer, and what I can get from the farmers markets is great, but produce in France is great. I love hearing about your experiences in France, and I hope you guys come to Paris. Like, I hope you consider coming to visit us. That would be fun.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Yes, yes. I came when we were working on the Ishigami exhibition at the Cartier Foundation, my past life. I visited Ishigami's studio, and like we looked at the different like models, like architectural models that he had created for the exhibition, because we needed to collect more data on the art, like basically the models and the artwork that we're shipping.
Mhm.
My job was I was a logistics expert at the Cartier Foundation, so I had to like basically plan on restorations, framing, shipping, and things like that. So it was kind of crazy because we were doing an international show in Seoul, in Korea,
Mm.
and because of timing, and like because we needed to like prepare to make the like shipping crates for the Ishigami exhibition, I flew to Tokyo first. And it was kind of a shame because I only got to spend 3 days in Tokyo, and then I flew to Seoul
Mm,
for the exhibition. So it was like this whirlwind. And I was pregnant. I was pregnant with Matisse. So it was, it was kind of like crazy. And I really appreciated coming to Japan. I just wish I had more time to visit.
yeah,
I wish I had more
Kyoto.
time.
Yeah, so my husband and I moved to Kyoto. Um, yeah, this is the third year, almost 3 years we've been living, and we're just loving it. So yeah, definitely if you have time, produce here is not pretty good. Um, it's um, it's a strawberry time season in Japan.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have them in your cafe? Can you tell me a little bit more about your cafe?
Oh,
I'd love to hear about it.
yeah. So, well, first of all, I know that Japanese strawberry is amazing because I work as a tour guide and interpreter for in Kyoto because it's a historical town. A lot of foreigners come, and it's an amazing job. I really enjoy it, and every clients I meet, they're like, "Oh my God, Japanese strawberries." I don't know if I can ever eat strawberries back home, and they're mostly Americans.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
very aromatic. There's so many variations. Um, yeah, and
How many varieties of strawberries do you find in Japan? Do you have like in France, there's Marat des Bois, and then there are like the more traditional like strawberries. I don't even know what you would call them. The species, the technical name. But yeah, in France, it seems like there are two. In Japan, are there even more types of strawberries?
it seems like it. Let's see. I don't know. But it seems like every time I go to my local shop, okay, I just checked ChatGPT and it says over 300 varieties of strawberries with about
Wow.
50 to 60 main commercial cultivars. So
Okay.
that's pretty. Yeah, I mean I feel like the Japanese like to come up with different kind of varieties, but they're always yeah, they're amazing. Kiwis are amazing as well, and of course kaki. We've got so many varieties of um oranges. We
I
also,
love
yeah,
oranges.
also lots of greens. Like when
Mm,
foreigners come to Japan, they're kind of lost. Like, what do I do with so many types of greens? Yeah. And yeah,
delicious.
my cafe. So I run a weekly cafe. It's kind of like a pop up. Just help.
Is it? Oh, it's once a week. You kind of open in
Yeah,
the same place, or
the same place. It's a
okay.
community center that they were looking for someone to use their space, and I said, well, I can help on. Sorry, it's getting a bit strange background, kind of you know, strange.
No worries.
So let me put the
Oh, there we go.
yeah. So yeah, I said, well, I can start just a little bit to use up the space, and that started this year, January, February, and they were okay me doing raw vegan, so just started slowly. I'm not doing much of a marketing, but it uh I love it. It's every day there's someone new coming, and there's already some regulars coming, almost every week. And yeah, it's I love that I can give all my love. I can pour all my love to food, and I have a little garden as well, so I would add some herbs and flowers from my garden. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I know that this is the best food in the whole earth that you can get in a restaurant setting or cafe setting, because I don't do it for money. I do it I do it out of love and passion of raw vegan. So and that's one of the reason I can only do it for once a week, once a week, and only afternoon. So
How would you mind? Thank you so much for sharing about that. That sounds amazing. I want to come if a plane ticket weren't so expensive. I'd love to come visit. What would like, if someone came into the cafe, what is your like typical offering? Do you have like one dish per day, or do you have like a couple of options? I'm curious to know like what
yeah,
like a typical
yeah,
meal would look like.
yeah. So I started off with mostly raw dessert, but raw dessert in low fat form, because
Oh wow,
yeah,
nice.
actually raw food dessert is quite popular. I don't know if I should say pop, but if you're health conscious, people know what raw food means, and raw food is mostly known for dessert, and they
Yeah,
tend to use a lot of cashews.
like the cashew cheesecake
Right, right,
is kind of the typical. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I cannot digest that at all. It's like, yeah, I would have
Mm.
a whole reaction to it. So what I serve is what I eat every day. And the typical meals that I prepare is usually like appetizer. So like uh, they're all in my Namado book. So my book is
Hmm.
the raw vegan journey, but I thought if they are inspired with my book, they want to try something simple. So I share the simple recipe in my book. So was it terrine or champignon? Terrine or champignon?
Okay,
That's something.
mushroom tannin.
Yeah, and I used to love making that when I was in France, and
Ah,
I used to.
I've never made it.
Oh, it's so good. I was so happy with that vegan version. Like even non-vegan love that my version of terrine or champignon, and I
Is
used
this
to.
the ebook? I'm looking at your ebook quickly. Ah, right, here we are. Terrino champignon.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, here I would have seen that you lived in Paris. I haven't gotten to this page yet.
Yeah, so I used to cook mushroom when I was in France, and because I
Hmm.
was getting abundance of champignon, and I said, "Oh, this is cool. I can do it," and it's so simple. Everyone loved it, and when this theme of um, world's favorite food made raw, the group collaboration,
Hmm.
I said, "Oh, it's true. I used to love this terrine or champignon. And that was a very easy thing to convert to raw. So I often serve that as an appetizer with cucumber or um, zucchini.
Okay.
Slice and put on top. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, and then I have walnut pate, which
Mm.
is that is also in my book. Very simple. I made it very simple so that you can add different kind of spices. Sometime I would,
I see it. Looks good. Looks good. And you put it in wrap?
yeah, that's Lisa's
Mhm.
hand wrap. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Oh.
So that's the walnut pate it's definitely everyone loves that. So I always have it in my cafe, and I just change the spices. And then chia berry parfait, which is also in my book. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's something very important in my diet. My husband and I, we eat it every day. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
so those are like a basic thing, and I would add seasonal fruits and vegetable on top of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. It sounds so good. I would like to, like you, I would love to do something kind of like that, but I need to stabilize what I'm doing now. But I would like to do that. You know why? Because I really believe that having events and creating that community with people, like-minded people. I mean, I'm sure you agree with me, or I assume that you agree with me. It's just like really helpful to have that community to make the shift, because it's easy to say like, oh, just do this or just do that. But if you have people that really want to make change and they're like kind of stuck in their old habits, it's nice to be able to go to your cafe. I'm sure there are people that love going to your cafe and they're like, oh, this is amazing. Kiko's motivating me. This is so positive. And I'm sure that you're having a much larger impact on those lives than you even realize. Like they must look forward to it and talk about it. And so that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Many people ask me to open my cafe, even when I was, even before becoming vegan. I like to share my dishes, and they all love my food and asking me to open up a cafe. And I said, it's a lot of work, and I cannot imagine myself doing that. Staying in one place and serving for people, and I know that it doesn't make much of money. But at this phase of my life, this once a week cafe is working really well. I'm really happy to be able to connect. This the technology is wonderful. I can connect with you, who lives in Bordeaux, right? Now in and now I'm in Kyoto, and I love this. I think we are living in such a wonderful time that
Yes.
we have so many choices, right? But at the same time, I really cherish that one-on-one connection. So
Mhm.
yeah, I go slow. I show up every week. There's not much reservation, but there's always someone coming up, as a surprise. And yeah, it's
That's
beautiful.
great.
Yeah. And yeah,
Good for you. How do people in Japan view what you're doing, your work? How do you?
yeah. So quite positive. People from different generation, people in 70s and 80s have tasted my food. People in like 20s would come and try it. And then, yeah, they don't understand, but they all said, oh my God, it's amazing. There's no sugar in it. I don't use any refined sugar or oil. So like,
Right.
I mean, it's so sweet. It's so good. I feel so good. And oh my God, it's just salad, but because I use that, walnut pate and stuff you know, that's it's nourishing and satisfying. They will say, "Oh my God, I can skip dinner. I feel so satisfied." And
Mhm.
quite a few people report back me saying that, oh my God, that digestion, it was amazing. That.
That's great. Good
Yeah.
for you. Just by hearing you talk about this pate, I have to make the pate, the
Yeah.
terrine. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Both.
mushroom food.
So if you notice, though, both recipes are very similar, and
Mhm.
that's why I love it. And walnut and chia seed is something very important because of the omega-3 fatty acids that
Mhm.
definitely helped me in my raw vegan journey. So
Okay.
yeah, I definitely try to. I mean, I don't have to try. It's so tasty. So I look forward to it every time I eat it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
That's excellent.
yeah,
I
that's
love the pictures that you have in your book as well. They're really beautiful. Makes me
pictures.
want to. Yeah, the photos of the recipes that you've added.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm learning. I'm learning definitely with the old iPhone that I'm using. But yeah, I want to be respectful of your time. But Alana, this was so amazing. You are. I don't know where to start with your asking questions, but I'm just so grateful that we were able to connect like this. You are full of life. I from just little that I've learned about you. I cannot wait to learn more about you. And what a blessing to have someone like you. If anyone is not following Alanna, do follow her. She's open for as a coach, right? She's got so
Yeah.
much knowledge. She's got 3 kids. She's a vegan mom, on high raw. I shouldn't maybe phrase it that way, but
It's okay.
yeah, that's amazing. And so I would love to connect with you again, maybe after the bundle. But
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted to connect.
and in France.
I'm sorry?
And in France, like physically,
Yeah.
I'd love to see you. And if you come to Paris, maybe I can try to come up and see you. Yeah, we definitely have to connect. We have a lot of like connections I can feel.
Yeah, thank God my husband came in to help us out on technical issues that we had.
Yeah.
And
Well, I would have seen it in your ebook, but after the live, so
yeah,
so it's nice. It's nice the way that it happened, absolutely. And you're super amazing as well. And I'd love to come visit your cafe. And I'm really interested in reading about your journey because I do think that a lot of people don't even like, you know, we don't necessarily talk about the journey, but I think it's interesting to see how other people experience things and it could be helpful.
yeah. I shared some before after photos, but to be
Mhm.
honest, worst photo has been deleted. I
Yeah.
didn't want it to recognize these photos as me. So
Okay.
I just took some of the okay photos. So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, um, speaking about the weight loss, I'm now 52 kilogram,
Okay.
which is what, like 120 uh 5
125 or something. Yeah.
5 pounds. But
Hmm.
before going raw, I was going raw yo-yoing, and at some
Yes.
point I was 67 kilogram.
Hmm.
That's 15 kilogram more, like more than
Yeah.
30, about 35 pounds more. That's a lot.
Right.
And
Absolutely. I feel like there are a lot of women in our situation as well. A lot of women that yo-yo and try the dieting method and like expect, try to get the results and then they go back to doing what they were doing before. So yeah, I think we both have learned that, focusing on raw foods helps that tremendously. That eliminates that burden.
definitely, yeah.
Mm.
And if anyone is having some weight loss, weight issues, or especially going after going through birth, definitely reach out to Alana. She's got consultation available for you. You need to go to someone who has experienced that. Because I have never gone through birth. I don't have any kids, yeah, so definitely it's a great resource
I
there.
do. And I have anyone who's pregnant with multiples can also contact me because it can be tricky and like stressful. So thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it.
No, it was beautiful connecting with you, Alana. So, again, thank you so much, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yes, thank you, Kiko, and everyone. Thank you to everyone watching this. If anyone is interested, check out Kiko's amazing book Namado in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. And yeah, follow both of us for more to glean information that can help you on a day-to-day basis to feel your best.
Excellent. Okay, bye now.